Thank you for coming back to my channel. I'm Stephanie if you're new here. So today, for today's video, I wanted to do a large family breakfast, like prep kind of thing, but then it led to lunch and dinner prep meal. I needed to share the shelving system that I put in my bathroom from when I put it underneath my cabinet for Evelyn's stuff. I needed to share more with that shelving that I didn't share in that video. So I need to go over it again, and I kind of moved it around in my bathroom, and I kind of did some new stuff on one of the shelves in there. And I'm also going to do more on my shelves in the bathroom. When we did the shelves in the bathroom, we took old wood from our school bus that we have, and we use that as our shelving in there, and I went and I did stain on it, but I never did a finish. So when it gets dusty in the bathroom, it shows up on them wooden boards. So I went and got some contact paper and put down a layer of it to put that little shelf organizer on there, and I'm going to share that again with you guys today. I will leave the link for that down below, and you guys can get one if you're interested, but I'm going to go over that later in this video. I did some egg, cheese, sausage, Uncrustables for breakfast, like a breakfast prep to put in the freezer. And actually, I need to make more of them because the kids really like them. I did yogurt, so I started that the night before, and then I jarred up some yogurt. So I think I usually get about 8 little pint jars of yogurt when I make our homemade yogurt. So I have that. And then also I shared a crock pot meal with you. It's a 4-ingredient crock pot meal. I know I just had a couple people ask for more crock pot meals for, like through fall. That's what I'm thinking that I'm going to do. So I have a friend that I've done videos with in the past, and her name is Crystal Lopez. If you guys remember, we did a lot of fridge clean outs together. I've been talking to Crystal now for the last, I want to say almost year or so. And we've connected just through videos, and she was one of my followers and stuff. So I kind of reached out to her recently. I said, hey, I want to make a lot of crock pot meals. I like what you have. I want to be able to share it with other people. So I kind of reached out and said, hey, can I do this? And she offered me a link for you guys so you guys can go check out more of her crock pot meals. She has a load of them. Well, recently, because I am on her mailing list, I got an offer to get a packet for $5. So I took it up right away. And I knew that I wanted to start out doing more crock pot meals maybe through September to kind of get through the week with us doing homeschooling and stuff like that. So I will share the recipe with you guys today for this recipe. But also I wanted to share this with you also. So this is the packet that I printed off. And there is 30 crock pot meals. It's crock pot freezer meals. So I got the whole pack. I'm going to show you guys what's all in this pack. I'm not sure. I would have to ask Crystal if I can share this pack, if I can find the link to this one. But otherwise, I'll put the whole, she just gave me one link, and I'm able to just share that with you guys, so you can go check it out. So if you sign up for her emails, when she puts sales out for these packs, then you can get them for different prices. But for right now, they're just labeled on there for what price it is. And then I also needed to finish Nash and Lachlan's basket for laundry. It was sitting there probably for a good 2 to 3 months, and we've just been kind of working our way through that, washing what they have. We have an everything basket. We've been taking it out of there, putting it in their basket down here. And they were sick for a good period of time. So I told them, bring down your cubbies, and I'm going to go through what you have in there. Let's get rid of stuff. And I was able to get through that basket in this video. So I'm going to share all of that with you guys today. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. There's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm going to share with you guys. We have more stuff coming in September with schooling and, school hauls and school stuff, and just crock pot meals and meals like breakfast meals and stuff that I would do maybe during school. A lot of times with lunch, it's just kind of quick stuff. So we'll see if I share any of our lunch stuff, but mainly I'll share more crock pot stuff with you and some Instapot meals. I love my Instapot. But some of these recipes on here are so nice, and I'm able to freeze these up ahead of time, which is great. So With these, what I like about these is she gives you full instructions in a short, like, I don't know, when you look at the recipes, it's very straightforward and easy to follow. I'm going to put these in gallon bags, and all you have to do is dump them in the crock pot. And then sometimes you might have to make like side noodles or rice or something to go with it. So that is what I want to share with you today. But let me turn you around quick and I'll show you what packet that I got. Right, so here are some of the recipes on here. We have, I'll just give you like the first four. Smothered pork chops, spaghetti sauce, chicken and gravy, and beef stroganoff. So they have so many more that you can do. And this is what the first page, let's see if I can find it. Smothered pork chops. So you're going to grab your boneless pork chops, add all of the ingredients in a 1 gallon freezer bag. In a separate bowl, mix the remaining ingredients together until blended. Pour into the freezer bag, seal tightly and remove all the air. Move the bag around with your hands to coat the pork. And then thaw the bag slightly, typically 1 to 2 hours. Pour the contents bag into the slow cooker and cook on low for 6 hours. All right, so we're gonna make the yogurt recipe that I've shared in the past. It takes about 8 hours to make, so I wanna make it the day before we're going to use it. So what I usually use is the Fairlife milk. I think it's like a half a gallon. So I dump the whole container in there, and I add 3 tablespoons of plain Greek yogurt. Then I add a whole can of the sweetened condensed milk. And you can use any brand that you would like for that. So I usually just add the whole can of that. You can also double this recipe. I have tried to do it in the past and it works pretty good that way too. So you can just add, double everything and it should come out the same. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add that. One of the things that I did forget is to put a teaspoon of vanilla in there. And that is okay because the next morning is when I actually went in and put that in there, and I show that tomorrow when I start jarring that up. So for right now, I'm just mixing it all together. I'm going to set my Instant Pot for yogurt, and you're going to want to make sure that it is set to 8 hours. All right, now we're gonna move on to the breakfast Uncrustables. What I ended up doing is just grabbing a bunch of eggs. I didn't really count it out, but I think the recipe is like 6 eggs, and I just used whatever. I just added, because I didn't really care how much I made. If I had any leftovers, I would just put that in the fridge or put it in the freezer and just use it another time. But I just ended up putting it in my skillet and adding the water and stuff. Oh, actually, I don't even think I added water this time. Usually we put it in some kind of bowl and mix it up with a little bit of water and salt and pepper. But for today, I was a little lazy, so we're gonna go with this. And all I did is put all the eggs in my skillet, mixed them up, and that was about it. So I needed to get the sausage made also. So I just grabbed one of our Jimmy Dean's sausage, be adding bacon bits, sliced cheese, and the sausage all right in the one skillet. All right, so I'm gonna add the bacon bits, my sliced cheese, and then I'm gonna add the sausage right on top. So normally I would use shredded cheese, but I thought I would give this a try and just see how we would like it. And actually the kids liked it. So I'll just probably do the same recipe next time when it comes to this. Okay, so I put everything in the bowl and I ended up moving to a different part of the kitchen. It would just be so much easier. I first went with my cutter and just cut out a bunch of circles and did it this way first. And I kind of went through a couple bags of bread doing this. So I wanted to try it out this way first. And usually what you do is you take your bread and you add everything to the bread and then you do the cutout. And I didn't want to do that this time, so I wanted to go ahead and just cut them all out first and add the mixture to it. So I ended up using a 1/4 cup mixture, and that one turned out pretty good, but as I kept going, some of them didn't stick together, so I had to kind of press in the sides and get it to work. But some of them really just wouldn't stay shut. So later I changed it up a little bit, and I ended up just using the bread and cutting it out differently, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But what see, this one did not work at all, and I think I just gave up on this one. I don't think it worked. So I just couldn't get the sides to push together, and I just did it that way. But I just went through what I already had cut, and then I switched over to adding it to the bread directly and cutting it out that way and pushing down and making the sides go together that way. It just worked out a little bit nicer, but otherwise it seems to be easier just to do peanut butter and jelly with this. I just think maybe I put too much mixture in that, in one piece of bread, and it just didn't work. All right, so now I switched over to the second way of doing this. So now what I'm doing is cutting and pressing at the same time. And this worked a little bit nicer, but with having so much in the middle, it seems like I was just making these little pockets, and then sometimes some of the stuff was trying to like sneak through the top part. But I made it work. I got them done, and we ended up putting them in the toaster, and some of them fit and some of them didn't. So I tried putting them in the air fryer. I did like 400 degrees for about 2 minutes, and that seemed to be, that seemed to work okay. And then if I still didn't think the middle was done, I put them in the microwave for about 15 seconds. So I wanted this to be something the kids could just do really quick and have it, really simple. And it ended up kind of being something that wasn't. So here I put one in, and this time they were thin enough for it to go in and for it to work. And it was fine that way, but the next morning when I tried to do it, it didn't work at all. So this is just one of them. All right, so we are on the next day. Oh no, we are still on the same day, sorry. And we needed to get this laundry done. So I have all of the twins' cubbies on the table. I dumped everything out, and I have their basket off to the side, and I got kind of organized, like pajamas off to the side, underwear, socks, everything that were in their baskets and cubbies that just needed to go through. And then I tried matching all of their pajamas too. And then I had the boys go through the pajamas and say, which ones you want to keep and which ones do you not want to keep. And some jeans had some holes in it, some clothes didn't fit them anymore. So I really made sure that the sizes were for this year and what we wanted to keep. Now, the twins do have matching clothing, but they pretty much pick out their own clothing, and they can match whatever they want for that day. So I don't really make it like a thing that they have to wear the same matching shirt or anything like that, but I do have that for their options for their clothing. When they were babies, I would always match them with the same clothing and their same socks, and I tried to make them look the same all the time. And even their haircuts in the last year changed up just a little bit, and now they're back to having the same haircut. So that's all right. Sometimes with twins, I think it's just stages of life and how they want to feel as twins. My twins are really close, but also have different personalities and enjoy pretty much the same thing, but also have different interests also. So I'm going to get done with folding all of this. What I ended up doing is putting all their shirts in one cubby, and all of their pants in one cubby, their shorts and their tank tops go in a cubby, and their pajamas. So we have 4 cubbies that each of their clothing goes into. The twins have to share cubbies, and the other boys have their own section. I have a huge cubby system up in their room, so we don't have to have dressers in their room, and it works out great for us. So here I'm putting everything in the cubbies. Now the boys have to bring this upstairs and put it in their cubby system, and that is just something that they have to do. Otherwise, when we go through the baskets, sometimes I will fold their stuff and then they have to bring it upstairs and put it in their cubby. All right, so we are on the next morning, and I'm adding a teaspoon of vanilla to my yogurt. I did put a piece of paper towel on the yogurt the night before to pick up all the extra moisture that ends up happening with making this yogurt. I did get something to mix everything, and you will get a little curdle with mixing up the yogurt, but then I ended up getting a whisk and just kind of made it smooth that way. And I use the smaller pint size jars and just put covers on them, and then the kids can grab it anytime that they want to. This yogurt has been one of the kids' favorite yogurts, and we also still will buy the Walmart generic brand too, and that works out great for us too. But sometimes the kids want the homemade yogurt, and they seem to like it. We also tried doing the dehydrated fruit in here for the one recipe. When you are putting everything in your Instant Pot, you can add the dried or the dehydrated fruit right in, and that works out too. So we've tried strawberry and mango or peach before, so it turns out pretty good. So all I'm doing is adding it to my jars, and then I'm going to put this in the fridge. Okay, so you'll see right here when I tried adding these to my toaster, they were a little full and I had to kind of push them in, and I had a hard time getting them out also. So I think just putting them in the air fryer and microwave will work just fine, or even just keeping them in the air fryer should work fine too. So I struggled a little bit, but we got it working. All right, so I was making up Evelyn's plate. I cut up some strawberries, added on breakfast Uncrustable, give her some homemade yogurt, and that was Evelyn's breakfast for today. All right, so here comes the work that I needed to do for this shelf. I ended up wiping everything down and taking all of what I have in there. A lot of this is my older makeup that I just never took time to go through, and I still need to. I did throw out some stuff when I was kind of looking through it, but I was able to clean everything off and wipe everything down and get it ready for adding the contact paper. So I ended up finding this neutral color at Walmart. They didn't really have anything that would match the theme of our bathroom, and I also have a curtain that goes over this anyways, but this was more of a neutral color, and I think it looks pretty good with what I needed it for anyways. So I just cut it down to size for the area that I was working with and just put it on there, and everything, you know, it worked out pretty good. I was surprised that it even stuck to that textured wood, but it worked. So I'm gonna finish here, get this on, and we're gonna talk about the shelving system. And I ended up going to Walmart and just getting a white container to add all my makeup to. I really need to just go through it and get rid of some stuff. I don't use that makeup anyways, but I really don't want to get rid of all of it, so I'll just go through it soon. So that's the white container, and I ended up just throwing everything back in there. Now with this shelving system, I shared it in the past in another video where I took all of Evelyn's stuff and I added it to the drawer, but I forgot to mention on how easy it was to take off the base and for you to be able to screw it down to any surface that you want to use it for. So I ended up using it in the bathroom just on the shelving here, but you can use it in the kitchen, you can use it underneath your kitchen sink, you can use it for spice rack or anything like that. So it comes with 4 screws. I ended up screwing the first set in the wrong spot, I think, but then I got them in the second spot just right, and I think it works out pretty good. So with this shelving system, it goes together pretty good, and all you need to do is take the base off for you to put the screws in. I need to move my Monate products over onto the shelving system. I kind of have it in a basket area by my window in the bathroom, and I thought that maybe it would be nice for me to just add it in my cabinet area here and make it look nice that way. So I'm going to put this back together, and all I had to do is line up the track, and that was pretty much it. So that's what I'm doing right now, just putting that back together. And then I'm going to lower it to the level that I need. I actually needed to readjust it because I had some taller bottles that needed to go on it, but it was really easy to move. And I will leave the link and everything for this shelving system down below if you are interested in getting it. The product name is Vanpopubs, I think it was, and I will leave that down below and you guys can check it out. So here I needed to raise that up just a little bit to get that last bottle in, and then I also had some other stuff that I ended up just laying on top. That one I didn't want to raise anymore, so I threw that one just right in the back and made it work that way, and I think it turned out pretty good. So that is pretty much everything when it comes to the shelving system. So it works out pretty good, and I will put all of that information for you guys down below. All right, so now we're gonna move on to my supper meal that I made for tonight. We are doing a 4-ingredient crock pot meal. What you need to do is add your chicken. I use a 3-pound bag of frozen chicken. Mine actually were thawed out, but that's usually what I use. I use 2 cans of chicken mushroom soup. I think it was like a half a cup of onion soup mix. And I added 2 cans of water with it and cooked it on high for a couple of hours. Now we're gonna make lunch. I can up hamburger just so I have it on hand. It's already cooked, and all I need to do is add it to my pan and cook it. That is it, and that is how easy it is. So I was thinking that I am going to make a quesadilla with my little griddle right on the stove. So I made my own taco seasoning because I don't have anymore. So I kind of just took a bunch of seasonings and added it to my hamburger and made it work that way, and it was fine. So what I ended up doing is just cooking that up quick and making my quesadillas. So I wanted the quesadillas. The kids ended up having tacos, and that's what we were gonna have for lunch today. A lot of times I put out chips, I put out cheese and lettuce and olives and all the toppings, and my kids love putting theirs together on their own, but I wanted to try something out different today. So I took my hamburger meat, I topped it with lettuce and sriracha sauce. So I add in the sriracha right now, and then I add lettuce, cheese, black olives, what else did I add? Some sour cream on top. And I'm not usually pretty picky when it comes to food items. I'll pretty much eat whatever, but this was just something that I wanted to try out. So I added some jalapeno peppers also. I like a lot of my stuff spicy, and I didn't really care that I added the hot sriracha and then added some peppers because I like it like that. So I ended up cooking both sides of my wraps and just ended up eating it that way. I did offer some to one of my kids, and he was like, yeah, I don't really like that. So a lot of times they just keep it pretty simple. Eat it with chips and eat it with wraps or with hard shells. All right, for the crock pot meal, I ended up cooking up a whole package of extra wide noodles, and that's what we're going to add to the crock pot. So this is something that I don't think you can add ahead of time. This is just something like you're going to want the noodles done before you add it to the crock pot. You're just going to mix it all together, and that is it for this dish. It is so fast to make and so easy, and my kids loved it. So that is everything that I wanted to share with you guys today. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.